Hello, thank you for watching our video. We're going to be teaching Plumbing 201 this evening. I know that this is going to be different for a lot of people, but we're going to try to do our best. We've got the okay from Boley and the committee and the college to kind of do all of our courses online. We know that we'll be doing all of our online courses until at least May 1st. So keep that in mind. We think that the rest of the term will probably be online. In order for you to get credit for attending this class, we'll have a code word kind of placed somewhere in the video for you to pick out. We will make the code word obvious. It'll be pretty obvious for you to figure out what that code word is. As far as the whole second year, we'll have 3 instructors up here. Some of you know Kenny, some of you know Tyrone, and then my guys obviously know me. We'll introduce them. The first night's going to be our introduction, or this video will be the introduction. We'll go over our course syllabus, figure out kind of what we're going to do. All right, as I was saying before, we're going to go over our syllabus together. The syllabus will be located down in the description in a Dropbox so that you can grab that. We've all kind of combined our curriculum, all 3 of us, to make a real full meat and potatoes type of course for you guys. This is all new to us, and we're obviously all amateurs up here just trying to do our best for you guys. Attendance, like I said before, will be based upon the video and our code word. And then you will have homework assignments, study guides, quizzes, and tests, all digital format down below in the Dropbox for you. Oh, here he is.
Are we interrupting? Are we disturbing? Hi, everybody.
This is Diddy. Diddy, would you like to say a few words to the second year guys?
I would. Have you given them the lowdown showdown?
We gave a little bit of a lowdown, but...
Right on. You told them about the magic word.
Yes, the key word.
Magic word. Mm-hmm. You know, in my class, the magic word, I ain't gonna fall for that. No way. No, I ain't giving out that magic word. However, magic word is but. Ha! All right. So, thanks for being willing to work with us here. We're gonna get this whole thing going so that you can get your credit. It's been a lot of work, but we're not done yet. Thank you for being willing to try it. So the important thing to remember is communication and checking your email, checking your texts. All of that is never more critical than it is right now. We're going to try to do Monday nights, release the link to the YouTube video, and that way, you know, we kind of get something kind of on a regular basis. And we're going to go the whole term as normal. Very important to do your at-home assignment, whatever it might be, if it's reading or texts or tests or whatever it might be. Important to keep up, and very, very important to keep up with the turning in the verification challenge, whatever that is, so that we can get you credit for having attended that class. Because in essence, that's going to be your roster sign-in. So. You got great instructors. They're really busting their tails to make this happen, so give it everything you got and we'll give it everything we got. We've got Boley, the college, everybody is signed on to this, and so Yahoo, so keep trying and we'll make it work. So thank you once again, and just remember that in 2 more years, you're mine, baby. Oh yeah.
Thanks, Diddy.
Thank you.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to introduce Kenny. For those of you that are in Kenny's class, make sure you contact him, get his contact information. For your convenience, all of our email addresses and phone numbers will be located in the description below. You can contact us and we will take care of each of you guys. Kenny?
So my class, obviously I text all you guys today trying to get a group text going. I don't know if all of your contact information was correct. I got the majority of you text me back. I also got a text that said, please remove me. I don't think I was supposed to be on this text. So I don't know if I have all your contact information. I know at least one guy in my class does not have the correct email address because he still has a Lovett email address. You know who you are. And you no longer are at Lovett. So, with that being said, I will try to get in contact with you guys, but otherwise make sure at least Mary Ann has all your updated contact information, please. Yeah.
Cool. Tyrone?
Tyrone?
The man of the hour?
Thanks, Cole.
Yep.
Hey, we're doing the best we can here. Just want to give a shout out to Aaron Kelso, who will also be working on some of your assignments for you. Collaboratively, we'll be working on that, and hopefully we make a good term out of this. It is going to be different. Their questions are the biggest thing that kind of tends to keep my class going. I can't speak for other instructors, but it kind of helps. Sometimes takes you down a rabbit hole, but gets you back on track eventually. But just looking forward to a good year. Hopefully we can all learn from it and move forward. So good to see you all. I'll be shouting out a little email shortly, just a contact, and let you know what to expect in the next couple of days. Thanks.
Sweet. Thanks, Tyrone. All right, so for tonight, we figured that everyone's class is kind of stopped or left off at a different portion. So we're going to tailor our syllabus so that everybody kind of feels included and we can cover what we need to cover in the last term. There will be a lot of review for most or some of you. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about water distribution and sanitary drainage. We'll start with water distribution. I have a few points that I think are pretty important to talk about water-wise. For all my guys, I have given you a little sheet that had, study and memorize these charts and graphs and things like that. Those are important. The number one most important right now is table 610.3. If you don't have your code book in front of you, that's fine. But I would recommend having your code book out in front of you so that as I go over some of these things, you can read along either with me or as I say those code sections out, at least you can highlight those. That'll make it easier for your quizzes and tests and things like that. The first thing that I wanted to go over was actually table 610.3. But I think before I get there, I'd like to go over our syllabus with you. We have a kind of a little description of work here. This is just my copy, but it'll kind of be what you see also. So for week 1, which is this week, we're doing our introduction. It's going to be me doing most of the talking. I'll have some help from Kenny and Tyrone where we need it. And we'll be talking about waste and water, that's pretty much. Week 2, Tyrone's going to take over with chapter 9, which will be vents. Week 3, we got Kenny. He's going to do chapter 10, traps and interceptors. Week 4, we got chapter 11, which will be back with me. We're going to talk about storm drainage, calculating your roof load, rainfall per hour and stuff like that. Should be pretty fun. Week 5, we have a review. So we'll review on water, waste, chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapter 11. You'll probably have some sort of study guide that you'll get to prepare yourself for the online or downloadable kind of open book homework midterm assignment. When we come back for the next video, you get your midterm. You'll be back with me. We'll have a video on installation standards. Very few of you have probably cracked open that far back in the code book, but there's a lot of good juicy knowledge there that can help protect you in your installation practices. Week 7, we'll be back with Tyrone. He's going to be teaching. What are you going to be teaching that night, Tyrone?
I kind of figured due to the current climate, it might be good to hit some OSHA.
Nice.
Not only on our current stuff, but going back, I know 4th year review, you guys will be expected to know at least a couple questions on that, or possibly for your state exam. So I thought I'd touch on that and then hit some ADA stuff. Stuff that I see every day, people just missing or forgetting or making mistakes like we all do. So hopefully it'll be a good refresher to know what you can and can't do and what rules apply where and when, and just kind of go from there. So
awesome.
Hopefully make it fun and
make it interesting.
As fun as you can.
We're doing our best, right?
OSHA, so hopefully we can make it fun.
And with the climate right now, I know a lot of OSHA is out and about looking at every job site because there are a lot of job sites that are not working.
One thing that I did see actually in a lot of these job sites that are still open to the public is they're having plumbers come in to install temporary hand washing sinks in those work locations. So they got, a bay of 4 or 5 hand washing sinks that they've set up with hot water and cold water and all that. So
I pulled an all-nighter last week at one of the hospitals setting up the tents with those hand washing stations.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
Cool.
And it is a requirement now, glasses at all times, some sort of gloves, doesn't have to be surgical, but any type of gloves.
And they are looking at the 6-foot distance too.
Very, very highly. We're trying to do our best here and stay in the frame,
social distancing.
We
all washed our hands.
We do have lines on the floor that you can't see. We're staying in our boxes.
We're actually further apart than what the camera shows.
That's right. It's a short one here.
Optical illusion. It's
Cool.
TV.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
You bet, you bet.
I think after week 7, Tyrone was saying he's going to talk with ADA and OSHA and all that good stuff. That'll be an awesome, wholesome class. Week 8, we're going to pass over to Kenny. Kenny's going to do a service class.
I think that we decided service is king.
Yeah.
And especially right now with this climate that we do have, a lot of construction sites are getting shut down. What do we have left?
Yeah,
Service.
it is true. It is true. Awesome. Well, thank you, Kenny. Let's see here. After week 8, we'll have week 9. That'll be non-potable rainwater catchment and collection systems. That'll be taught by me. I want to go over some of the fixtures that you can feed with gray water. You know, how to collect it, how to calculate all those with your conductors and liters and all that good stuff. So that'll be on chapter 16. After that, we will have preparation for our final. So week 10 will be our review for final. We'll cover everything that we covered in this course in the first 10 weeks. You'll probably have between 20 questions, would you guys say? 20, 25 questions on the final. We're trying to keep it, you know, small and compact and easy as we go forward. So again, I want to say thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for watching this. We know this is our first time up here, so we might disable the comments if you know what I mean, but we'll make it happen. Week 11 will be our final night, and that's it, right?
Summertime.
Summertime.
All right, we're back. Just as a refresher, I know each of the classes have probably already hit water sizing, but we thought, hey, it'd be good to just kind of drive that home, make sure we're good on it, not only for cold water, but hot water as well. So up here on the board, Cole's gonna help out too. We're gonna kind of go through and just kind of look at what are the things, what are the sizing requirements here. The first thing that I'd like to remind everybody of is DDEP. I know we all kind of hit that long ago. Everybody kind of switches the D's around. They all come, in the end, it's all the same, whether that's distance, demand, elevation, or pressure. But to get those, we kind of need to know what do we have here on the system. So the easiest way to do that is I'm kind of going through, maybe Cole can write over there and just kind of assign fixture unit values for each fixture. So down here on the tub shower, it is a tub shower. It's kind of hard to see that spout, but we're going to have 4 fixture units there. Thank you, Cole. Next to that, just to the right, we have a water closet and 2.5 fixture units for that. And then next to that is a lavatory at, what do we have there, Cole?
Just one, right?
Just one, all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Got that one.
And then to the right of that, we have a laundry tray. If memory serves, I think that's 1.5 on a laundry tray. And then a clothes washer, A-dub for short, we've got 4. And then each branch on a hose bib is considered 2.5 for that one hose bib. So we'll start them all at 2.5, and then we'll work back as we start sizing back. So we'll hit that one there. We've also then got a hose bib near that next bathroom group, near the shower. And the pin kind of didn't work, but there is 2.5 there. Next to that is a shower. There we go, at 2. Remember, it's 2 per head. And then Cole's probably got them all dialed there. It's a lot of the same now that we have them. 2.5 for the water closet, 1 for the lav. You can kind of hit the powder bath there. And kind of the lone duck is the kitchen sink and dishwasher. And then the hose bib up there. So for starters, let's go for total demand. What do we have on the system? When we start looking at this bathroom group down here, sometimes it's just easier to kind of add them together as you go. We've got 4 for the tub shower, 2.5 for the water closet, and then a lav. If my math is correct, that's 7.5 there. And then we add another 1.5, gets me to 9. We've got 13 with the clothes washer, and then an additional 2.5 gets us to 15.5. Now remember, this is our first hose bib, so that one will be full load at 2.5. So 15.5 so far in the cold. As we move up to the next bathroom group, we've got another hose bib. Let's count that as 1. So what are we at total now, Cole?
16.5.
16.5, and then we add the shower there, that gets us to 18.5. And then with the water closet, 18 and a half plus 2.5 should be 21, and then 22 on the lav. Moving over to the powder bath there, 22 plus basically 3.5 gets us up to 25.5 if my math is right.
Yep.
I'm winging it pretty good.
There you go.
All right. And then up at the top there, we had 25.5 plus 1.5 for the kitchen sink, plus 1.5 for the dishwasher. So if we add both of those, that should be 28.5
Okay.
for our total demand. And then another one for the hose bib, 29.5 if my math is right. Is that what
we're
we're hitting at? So that would be our total demand. Again, the dishwasher is kind of the weird one. You add that to get your total demand. That's what the illustrated says to do. So 29.5 is our total demand. Now we just got to figure out what's our distance. What do you want? What do you guys want to come up with here?
You guys want to do? You guys want to maybe do 100 feet?
Sounds good. That's an easy,
Keep it clean. 100
easy
feet?
round number. 100 feet. We'll go with 100 feet. Elevation is the other factor. Remember, if the source is above the most remote fixture, we're going to be adding 0.5 psi per foot. If it's below, we're going to be subtracting. So what do you want to say for elevation, Cole?
All right, you want to say that our meter's 20 feet above the house?
Sounds good.
Kind of
So
in a little valley there.
Okay, so the meter's 20 feet above. So we're going to actually gain at 0.5 psi per foot. We're going to gain 10 psi. So what was our starting pressure?
Well, let's see. What do you guys want to start? Kenny, you want to give us a pressure?
Start the pressure at 62 psi.
62.
62.
All right,
All right.
62. And we'll have to add our 10 psi.
So 72.
72
All right.
psi.
72 it
Math's
is.
still working in my head. That's good. So 72 is our psi. So we have distance, we have demand, we have elevation. We've now calculated the pressure with that elevation. So we should have everything we need to kind of look at the next chart and figure out what columns we're peaking at.
Alrighty. So I got this kind of pulled out here for you. Everybody's familiar with this guy, obviously. And given our pressure range, I don't know if you guys can see this, but hopefully you have your books in front of you. This is page 62 there. And you got all your values. You have 3 different charts. You have your pressure ranges, low pressure, mid pressure, and pressure over 60 psi. So we're going to figure out where on this chart we are, correct? So we know that our developed length, or our maximum allowable length up here is going to be 100. So that's going to leave us in this hundreds column right here. And we know that our pressure is 72. So we're actually going to be in this bottom chart here. So I'm going to set this down so I can get a good number here. It looks like with a 3/4 inch meter, which is common, and a 1 inch service, you're going to have 39 there in the third one. So we have to have at least 39 because our total fixture units here is what? 29.5. So if you look at that chart, 20 can't hit it, but 39 can. And as you work your way down there, you can kind of see if you're in that hundreds, and there's, your pressure. This is your pressure table. You got your 3/4 meter, 1 inch service, and 39. So the question is now, how do you find out how many fixture units you can have on 1/2 inch pipe, or 3/4 inch pipe, or 1 inch pipe? Do you guys want to instruct kind of how you find where that is here on the chart for everybody?
Sure. So we're peaking here. Got to get my eyes focused here. The 100 column gets you down here. We've got a 3/4 meter. Just making sure. Looks like we can run 6 fixture units on a 1/2 inch line. The little subnote there is basically subnote 2, just says smallest water service is 3/4. So that's all that's really signifying there. But your meter size here is 3/4. So if we look at that, slide over 1/2 inch, we can do 6. We then drop down to a 3/4 meter, 3/4 line size, all the way up to 20. Our total demand we had determined was how much again?
29.5.
29.5. So we're going to have to go one more. So we'll need to hit that 1 inch column. So that kicks us down to 39. So on 1/2 inch, our total load is 6, 3/4 20, 1 inch 39.
So we got 1/2 inch here. We know we can run, oh, we need a better pen, for sure. 1/2 inch we can run 6. 3/4 we can run how many?
20.
20?
Yep.
And then the rest will be on 1.
And then the rest will be 1 inch.
All right, and the pin's kind of biting the bullet right now. We don't have a lot of options with us right now, but work with us here. So when we start looking at these branches, we just need to start totaling them up, and that's what kind of makes it a little bit easier as we write on there like Cole has done, to kind of see for that lower bathroom group. For cold water demand on this branch over here, it looks like we have 4 with the tub shower, 2.5 with the water closet, and 1 with the lav. So at this point right in there where Cole's pen is, what's our total? Looks like we have 7.5 there. What size would we have to have? Again, looks like 3/4 because 1/2 inch we can only run 6. So it'd be 3/4 for that branch there. Kind of a quick reminder, and then from there, if we move forward, it's hard to fit with the pin and everything, but after picking up the lab, moving towards the water closet, we would then drop a fixture unit. We'd be at 6.5. Again, that's more than 6. We always round up, so that would be 3/4 as well. And then upstream there, then we could reduce to 1/2 inch. All we're picking up is that tub. So hopefully you can kind of see how that works on the cold system. We can come back and do the hot later. So if we jump over on the cold over here, we've got a hose bib, an auto washer, and a laundry tray combined. 6.5 plus 1.5. My math, hopefully that's 8. Did I do it? There we go. 8 fixture units there. And again, we look up at our loading. Max is 6 on 1/2 inch. So we're going to have to run 2 to 3/4. Line size there. Glad you found a good pen, Cole. That one looks good. I can actually see
found
it.
something.
And you guys feel free to jump in anytime. But after you pick up the laundry tray, really all we have left down there is a clothes washer and a hose bib. Combined, that's 6.5 fixture units. We're still going to need to run that 3/4 there where Cole's marking out, because we're over the 6, so that would end up being 3/4. And then after we pick up that auto washer, obviously those branches, individual branches, could be 1/2 inch. Hopefully that's a good refresher. I know for some it's a walk in the park, and for others it's a good refresher. So thank you for your patience. Should we keep moving on? Do you guys want to do some hot, or do you want to just stick cold all the way through?
Do you want to get, we'll size the rest of the cold, we'll size the whole cold system.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a cold unit value, and then we'll go through and size the hot for them. And I think once we have a unit for the cold side, we'll just erase all this off of there and then do the hot side. Will that work?
I think that's a great
Or we
idea.
can do the hot and red.
Or I can probably find a red pen. Let's see.
Bet you there's a red marker behind there.
Bunch of plumbers.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
There we go.
Look at that.
Cool. So
So
yeah, we'll get down to, we'll get this branch here.
Okay.
And then get just a couple points throughout here of their
Perfect.
sizing.
I think that's a good idea. So probably Cole's suggestion is great. What I like to do is kind of add them together as I go. So this next cold branch, we had 8 over here and 7.5 on the other side. So total there, combining those, if my math is right, is 15.5.
Looks good to me.
And again, our max on 3/4, as Cole's pointing out, is 20. So again, we're still okay on that 3/4. And then we've got a simple branch coming up for another hose bib. Again, each branch is sized full. So that would be 2.5 fixture units there. And don't need to run 1-inch pipe unless you wanted to, but the minimum would be 1/2 inch.
Yep.
You could run 1 inch, there's nothing against that. You could. Especially your commercial bibs, you might be running 3/4, but 1/2 inch will do there. So why don't we start hitting some of the bathroom here so we can kind of see what we have. Looks like we're going to be picking up a shower at 2.0. And thank you, if you can write the fixture units there, Cole. And then 1, perfect. It's going to get really busy in here, but as we start coming back at this point here, our next transition, it's really hard to point out, but we have 15.5 at this point. We have 2.5 at this point, but remember, we can't just add those together because we've already got a hose bib over here. So really, instead of adding a full 2.5, we'll be adding a 1. So at this point, in between the shower and this hose bib right in there, really hard for Cole with a big marker, but it looks, we'd have 16.5 there for our load. Still under the 20, so we're still running 3/4. And then as we cruise on the other side of that shower, we got to feed it, right? We're working our way back to the meter. So 2 plus 16.5 should be 18.5. You guys checking me?
Yep. Right after the shower.
Yeah, right in.
Need my
Yep.
calculator. That's more fingers I
I
can do.
know, it's getting busy in there.
More fingers than what I got.
Getting real busy.
18.5.
And we'll kind of, maybe for,
Do you want to erase some of this as we go?
we might. I
Yeah,
think you
let's see
guys
if we
kind of
can-
have an idea at home. You can definitely be following along. I think if we mark
We'll
that.
erase some of this. We'll stick with our 18.5 now that we have this section kind of sized out. Give me a second here to erase all this good stuff.
It's a good thing you didn't use the permanent marker. I've
Yeah,
done that.
hilarious. Yeah, sorry
I've
about
done that
this.
before.
Have
Come on, I
All
can't
right,
be the
so
only
we got
one.
our hose bib in there.
You
We
really
got our
gotta
showers. I'm really scrubbing this. All right.
Alrighty.
So the point we were talking about after picking up that shower was right about here, and that was 18.5.
Yep.
We're going to pick up the water closet and the lavatory, so I think our next unit would be probably around there, don't you think, Tyrone?
That looks good. What would we have there, Cole, with the water closet and the lab?
We're adding 2.5 and 1, so we got 19.5. How about 22?
Sounds right to me.
It's 22.
Kenny's checking us too.
Kenny, you checking on
He's
that
the
also?
cameraman, but he's checking us too. He's
Like I
walking,
said, I got my
walking it
calculator.
through.
All right, so we
More
have
fingers.
22 here, and if we look at our fixture unit values for loading or load size, we can't hit that with 3/4.
It's-
So we size that up, Tyrone, correct?
We're gonna have to upsize. You were absolutely correct.
So this point here is all going to be 1 inch. Here's your meter right here.
That is correct.
So let's size this branch headed this way.
Sounds good. In order to do that, we're gonna have to add everything that's up here to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at.
Okay. I'll get some units there for you.
Alrighty. So we'd be looking at adding the hose bib at 2.5, the kitchen sink at 1.5, the water closet at 2.5, and a lavatory at 1. If my math is correct, that's 5 fixture units plus another 2.5, so 7.5.
Yep. Plus 22.
Plus the 22, however, we've also got some hot units that we need to feed up there, so that's going to be the next step. So maybe we need to kind of circle back the wagon and figure out what our hot demand is.
Okay.
Right now, we could write down our total here. 22 I would leave.
Okay.
We've got 2.5, 2.5, 5, 7.5 there. We can kind of put a little sub note that we have 7.5 on that cold branch.
This one headed up here.
Back, I was thinking back here, just to know. Yeah, that one there. Just to know that that's kind of where we're at right now. But we also got to account for the hot water heater. So looking at it, that means we got to do some math. So literally all we're doing is counting up all the hots. So as we start going through, we kind of counted the colds before. So you got 4 on the tub shower, plus the lavatory kicks us to 5. Laundry tray, 6.5. Plus 4, 10.5 for the auto washer, plus 2, that's 12.5, 13.5 with that lavatory. Looks like a lavatory there, 14.5. We've got a kitchen sink,
16.
16. So we
That
got
looks like our
16.
hot.